Hey everybody, and welcome to the Market Profile Series, Part 1, The Basics and Setting Up Monkey Bars. This is all going to be done with the Thinkorswim platform. If you do not have access to the Thinkorswim platform and you still want to use market profiling software, there are some alternatives out there, such as Sierra Charts or Window Trader, which is offered by the Shadow Trader Group. But before we dive in, I'm Darky, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any information that you are about to learn in this video financial advice. With that in mind, let's move forward. So, within our Thinkorswim platform, we have our standard candlestick charts. These show us as the market moves up and down. Buying volume shown with green, red volume shown with red volume, selling volume shown with red. So what monkey bars are, what market profile is it's a different way to view the information that the market is giving you. It gives you almost a 3D image of how the auction is taking place. It does this by providing you with what's called a TPO chart. This stands for time, price, and opportunity. Why don't we go ahead and set all of this up so that way we have a monkey bar chart in front of us. I want to stress that we won't be diving into any auction theory, market profile theory, or any of the nuts and bolts. We're going to strictly be sticking to setting up and getting monkey bars up and running. So, the first thing that we're going to want to pay attention to is that within our settings, we're going to want to turn off extended hours trading in our equities. The reason we want to turn off extended hours trading in our equities is that the monkey bars, unlike other TPO software out there, will condense all of the pre-market and aftermarket information inside all of the information generated for the trading day. This can give you some improper readings when it comes to utilizing market profile. So we're going to make sure that we have our extended hours turned off. We're going to make sure that our volume subgraph is turned off. This one's not as important. You're not going to get a volume subgraph on a TPO chart anyways, but I do it anyways. After that, we're going to come on over to our appearance. This is where we would modify how our candlestick chart looks, but it's also where we're going to change from standard candlesticks to monkey bars. This is going to give us a completely different looking chart. We have a little preview over here of what it's going to look like. This isn't going to give you a really good idea yet, though. You'll see what I'm talking about when we actually apply all of our settings and get it rocking and rolling. Moving into our appearance, the first thing we're going to want to modify is our tick size. We're going to change it to custom, and we're going to change it to 0.04. What this means is every row of TPOs is going to be a 4-cent width. I find that this is the best measurement to use for monkey bars as far as TPO charts are concerned. And I also find that day trading, the SPY, the QQQ, and some of the other more standard charts, this tends to be the best measurement. We're going to make sure that volume for all is turned on. We want to be able to see the volume profiles for every TPO chart. We're going to emphasize our first digit. It's going to give us a little bit of a better understanding of where each one opens up. This is more important when we're looking at previous information as opposed to information as it's building. We're going to keep our monkey bar on. You can set that to whatever color you like. I like to keep mine green. The monkey bar is going to represent where the highest concentration of TPOs have occurred during a trading day. And it's going to be placed at the highest concentration within the area or the playground fill where 70% of the TPOs are. We're going to go to our open price, make sure that's on. I like to indicate that with a green square. Our close price, we're going to use a brighter orange, which is going to be a bright orange arrow to show us where the price is closing. we're going to have our initial balance. I like to use something nice and light, easy to see, and I'm going to set my initial balance to 1. What our initial balance is it's a line that is going to denote, or it's going to point out to you where the first market block traded. It'll show you its high, its low, and everything in between. If we were to set that to 2 or 3, that means our initial balance would show us what the first 2 or 3 market blocks traded to at their high and their low, and everything in between. For our volume color, for our actual volume profile, I like to make mine gray bars. You can leave yours whatever color you want. Point of control, also very important to keep on. We're going to keep ours as pink. The point of control, similar to the monkey bar, is going to show you where the highest concentration is, except instead of the TPOs, this is going to show you where the highest concentration of volume, or where the most trading has taken place for the day. As well, we're going to have a value area fill that's going to show us where 70% of the day's volume took place. I like to make my value fill area a little bit of a lighter color. It can be easier to see on the background. And I also like to make sure that it's a different color from my playground fill. After that, we get into some of the more common settings. This has to do with your cursor, your background, all that fun stuff. You can play around with this on your own. I tend to just leave this as is. I do make my background darker than what the default setting is, but that's up to you. And I also like to keep my grid on. After that, the last thing we're going to set is we're going to come up here to where this color bar is, and we're going to change these colors here. You can change them to whatever you want, but the only ones you're going to need to be concerned with are the first 2. I'm going to change my first one to white, and I'm going to change my second one to the very pale yellow. The rest of these, like I said, you don't need to worry about those colors, because what we're going to be looking at, we're only going to have these first 2 colors on our chart. All right, we're ready to go ahead and hit apply. And boom! Look at that. Everything changes. Now we have what's called a TPO chart, or what TOS likes to call them is the monkey bar or monkey bar profile. The next thing that we're going to do before I start explaining everything that we're seeing here is we're going to go up to our time frame, and we're going to make sure that we're on a 30-minute time frame. Now I've got presets already set to go. For day trading purposes, I like to use my 3-day profile. If you were going to be messing with this yourself, you can go right into the time frame. You can use a daily time frame, 3 days, 30 minutes, okay, and here we go. So like I said, you're only going to need those 2 colors, because when we break the market up into 30-minute blocks throughout the day, we're never going to make it to that 3rd color. So what are we looking at here? This is a market profile. This is TOS's monkey bars. So the first thing that I want to point out is we have our initial balance line, that nice bright blue line that we picked out, right? And you can see, if I zoom in, that nice bright blue line is only next to all of the number 1s. This shows us, as we said, the first trading block, or the first 30 minutes of trade, where the initial balance is taking place. We have our green square indicating which TPO the market price opened at. We have our monkey bar showing us where the most TPOs have occurred throughout the entire trading day. We have the top of the playground, the bottom of the playground, showing us where 70% of the TPO activity took place. Over on the left, we have our volume bars showing us how much volume took place at each row. And we have our nice blue square that's going to tell us where our value area is, high and low. 70% of the day's volume took place within here. And right here is where the point of control, or the highest amount of volume, took place for the entire trading day. And we can also see, because we had the first digits emphasized, that each TPO, as it starts a new market block, will emphasize the first digit where the trade starts. And last but most certainly not least, we've got our little arrow right here. This shows us where our price closed at. Now, while a TPO chart is building out, it's going to look a lot different than what you see as a completed TPO chart. As you can imagine, when it first starts out, we would just have this one number 1 right here. Then for the first 30 minutes, as the market price moved, every 4 cents it ticks up, we get a new number 1. Every 4 cents it ticks down, we get another new number 1. Once we enter into the 10 a.m. or the second time block, that's when we start making a second row and we start our number 2s. And they'll keep adding a 2 every 4 cents up, every 4 cents down. And if we pass by our initial balance, or if we pass by where the previous TPOs are, they're going to continue printing right over the top. So by the end of the day, we start to get what resembles a bell curve shape to our trades. Now, this is where that 3D picture comes in that I was talking about. We can see where the highest concentration of trading is. We can see where the extremes of the day for trading is. And we know where our value is being placed at. This little orange arrow is also going to be moving with the price of the market. So that helps us kind of see when we're at the high or the low or anywhere in between. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this part 1 of our market profile series, and you should now know how to set up your own monkey bar chart for using with the Thinkorswim platform. Next, we'll be moving into part 2, where we'll be diving a little bit deeper into market profile and market theory, but more so, we're going to be focusing on how we can use this information to chart out support, resistance, and lots of other informative lines that can help us make trading decisions throughout the day based on other things that we're seeing on our candlestick chart.